With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? Well, last night, the first social media reactions for Captain America Brave New World came out, and I did a little reaction watch video where along with the viewers, we started tracking the first reactions that were coming out.
It's a good show, by the way.
Thank you. Had a good time doing that last night. Well, this morning, the full review embargo lifted for Captain America Brave New World. And they're right around kind of where I thought it would be. Now, I was telling Rob that last night, I went through about 30 plus reactions, I think. One or two of the reactors absolutely loved the movie. One or two of the reactors absolutely hated the movie. And everything else was kind of in between. The general consensus was, it's pretty good. You know, there were things like action was great. Anthony Mackie's wonderful. But some people felt like this just feels like a poor man's Winter Soldier. Or it feels like this movie's just here to tie up loose ends from other movies. But it also did this pretty well. So it was kind of mid. Now, when I first opened up and took a peek at the critic rating, it was sitting at 45%, which I thought was a little bit lower than I thought it would be. Now, I just reloaded it again. It's gone up 7%. It's now over 50%. It's now sitting at 52%, which is right around, like I said to Ann asked me last night, like, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score is going to be? I said 60. After reading the reactions, my sense is 60, and it's within about 8% of that, sitting at about 52%, which means a tiniest of majority of critics seem to like it. But again, it's kind of one of those lukewarm things. Like the ones that don't like it, don't hate it. The ones that like it, don't love it, but it's pretty good. And I remember, Rob, we were saying, and I said this several times last night on the stream, I said, look, I've never thought this movie was going to be great. I've had fears that it could be terrible. So I told the audience last night, I said, look, if I walk out of this movie going, you know, that was pretty good, I'll be happy. Like that's all you got to give me. Give me that. Marvel right now on the runway has Daredevil, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four. I think those are going to be three winners. I think those are going to be three big winners for them. And I said last night during the show, I said, here's the thing. Not once in the lead up to Captain America 4 have I ever felt that either Disney or Marvel were particularly really excited about this movie. I've never once felt that they had this overabundance of confidence in it. I'm glad they did all the reshoots they did because I'd hate to think about how bad the movie was. So good, they made it a passable movie, I guess. But I said I've never felt that they were super excited about it. The way they seem to be very excited for Thunderbolts, the way they seem to be very excited for Fantastic Four, and the way they seem to have a lot of confidence in Daredevil. So I think this is going to be one of those train station movies, Chris, where it's like they want to get to the station and then move on and get through it. And if it cannot be terrible, look, I told this to Rob, the only thing I want, Chris, I just don't want to walk out of the theater feeling the same way I felt walking out of the theater for Quantumania.
Yes.
If I can at least avoid that disappointment and come out going, you know what? Not bad. If I can come out saying that, I'll be thrilled. Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, PrizePicks. All right, sports fans, All-Star Weekend is almost here, and if you're not on PrizePicks, you're seriously missing out. It's the easiest and most fun way to turn your basketball knowledge into real money. With over 10 million users already playing, why not you? PrizePicks is a skill-based daily fantasy game. You just pick more or less on player projections. You think Steph Curry's hitting more than 5 threes or Giannis dropping more than 35 points? Make your picks in under 60 seconds, and if you hit, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash. Ann and I have been using PrizePicks on football all year, but now we're switching over to basketball. And we like Jason Tatum getting more than 29 points. And now that Luka Doncic is on the Lakers, I'm going to take over on 8 assists. And the best part is, even if you miss one pick, PrizePicks Flex Play lets you still cash out. And hey, don't forget about Taco Tuesday. Each week, PrizePicks discounts select player projections by up to 25%, giving you even more chances to score big. Download the app today and use the code CAMPEA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use that code CAMPEA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. So this is right around where I thought it would be. Are you surprised to see this? Better than you thought? Worse than you thought? How you see it?
It's pretty much where I thought it was going to be. I felt like this was going to be probably a polarizing film for a lot of people. What I've loved from all of these reactions, though, is that the vast majority of them talk about how great Anthony Mackie is and how he does deserve the shield. That Sam Wilson is a great character and it's about time he has this moment. The movie has some great story moments. Some people didn't enjoy where it was political or wasn't political enough, is what I've been gathering from what people have been saying.
I literally saw both.
Yep.
I saw one guy saying that it was just too much politics, and I saw another critic saying they were too afraid to really go into the issues. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? How are you going to make people happy?
Exactly. So I've seen a whole bunch about that. I've heard, too, that the CGI is less than appealing. But, you know, as long as I have a good story for Sam, that's really what I'm after in this one. Honestly, I just need this to be like a C+. That's what I need. I want everyone to get this up to like a 70. I don't need this to be the greatest Marvel film ever. I just need it to get the train going again.
Rob, how do you think about this?
Well, you know, a buddy of mine saw it last week, and he said it was pretty good. That's what he said, and there was a lot of stuff he liked in it. And I love Anthony Mackie's Falcon. I mean, I loved the character. I thought he was great. And I've liked him in leading roles, like we talked about Twisted Metal, how cool he was in that show, that TV show.
Oh, yeah.
And right. Hey, one of my favorite hot toys is the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain America with the wings. I love that figure. He's displayed prominently on my shelf. And will be getting that new figure. I want to like this movie, and I am predisposed to liking political thrillers. And I've been banging on about how the Marvel Cinematic Universe has not dealt with a celestial in the ocean, and now there's adamantium, and so much the better. I mean, if people are talking about it doesn't lean into the politics enough, I'm like, yeah, the divination of adamantium across the nations of the world is a real political problem I see in our world, so why shouldn't it be in the MCU, right? But I hope it's good. I mean, I know, for me, I bet this is going to be at Black Widow level. I don't love Black Widow, but I like it.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for Red Guardian, I'd probably dislike the movie. But overall, I didn't mind Black Widow. It was fine. That's if I can get that out of this movie, I'll be okay with it. Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoy the first like 3/4 of Black Widow until you get to the apocalyptic ending when the helicarrier flies apart and whatever, and you're like watching them all in free fall. I'm like, this is too much. Like I really liked Yelena and Black Widow pulling their, like, working in European cities. I love watching spies in European cities. And I want to see some spy action. I want to see some countries in conflict. I want to see, fighting over a celestial. I want to see Sam Wilson flying. I want to see the leader. I want to see Giancarlo Esposito and the Red Hulk. I'm sure I'll like it. I'm not going to love it.
I'm curious to know what you guys think about this statement that I made last night. And this is how I feel about it. Like, somebody wrote and said, do you think it's important, or how important do you think it is that this movie sets us up for Sam to be the leader of the Avengers moving forward? And I said, not at all, because Sam should not be the leader of the Avengers. A moniker is not a leader. The person is a leader. And I think it would be a horrible decision. As much as I love the Sam Wilson character, love this character in the MCU, but let's face it, up until this point, Sam has been a sidekick to Captain America. He's been a sidekick. He's not suddenly, you literally have full-blown Avengers, and all of a sudden the sidekick becomes the leader. Why? Well, because now you've got the star on his chest. That means that, I said, think about it this way, Rob. In the world of the MCU and the Avengers and the hierarchy, take Rhodey. Rhodey, Avengers-wise, outranks Sam.
But he's a
Mil-
Skrull.
Was a Skrull. Military-wise, Rhodey outranks Sam. Rhodey is an experienced veteran leader, all that kind of stuff. There's no valid argument to be made that a Sam Wilson character should be made leader of the Avengers. Take all the other Avengers out of it. Just put up him and Rhodey. There's no comparison. Rhodey is the guy you pick then to be the leader if it's out of the two of them. And if it's just out of the two of them and he can't even win that, I just don't see any way you make Sam Wilson the leader of the Avengers.
I disagree.
Yeah, I think you can make Sam the leader. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, as a
No, you go for it, right?
No, well, go ahead.
no. I'm just saying, if Steve Rogers trusted Sam enough to hand him the shield, I trust in Steve Rogers, and and plus he's a military.
But what
guy.
were his options?
He's a military
That or
guy.
the Psycho Killer Winter Soldier?
I think you also, though, you have those two people who were sidekicks take up the mantles of their superiors, however you want to kind of view it, right? We've got Rhodey taking the place of Tony. Theoretically, we've got Sam taking the place of Steve, theoretically. I like Sam, though, taking up a leadership role, especially because he is, quote unquote, average with a really good heart. And I think that's an important thing to at least be a linchpin in the team. Maybe not the leader, but I do think you can get him there. He does counseling for veterans with their PTSD. He has the best of intentions. And I feel like that's the kind of person you want to have near your leadership roles. And it makes sense for me for somebody like that to be in the mix of making those big world-changing decisions.
And no romance involved with Sam Wilson.
Currently.
Yeah.
Currently.
You never know. But also, look, I could see
Anthony
them
Mackie
also
gonna
in a
be macking on
co-leadership
something.
position because they're both military. And I think that what the thing about Steve Rogers was the man fought in World War II. You know, he led troops into battle. So in addition to being the kind of man he was in his core and in his heart, he was also a battle-hardened soldier. And on the field of battle, he was an obvious leader, whereas in Sam and Rhodey, you have two military veterans that have a lot of experience. So maybe they could co-lead. What they don't have is power. You know, they don't have the awesome, they're both just men.
Right.
Whereas Steve Rogers is a super soldier, and then I think you need at the head of the Avengers, you need somebody that has power, that can be who, like Steve Rogers could lead you into battle.
But wouldn't it make
Whereas, because he was a meta-human.
wouldn't it make more sense if a person like that directed the Avengers? Because sometimes it was weird that Steve Rogers was calling orders when he was probably one of the most powerful ones in the group.
Right, but he was also the one with military experience
Right,
who led
right,
troops
true.
into battle.
Right, true.
I mean, it depends. It's going to be really interesting to see, John, how they move forward with the Avengers. Who are in the Avengers? Because it seems like, other than Thor, who will have to come back to Earth.
Well,
you know,
according to
and-
Valentina, they ain't coming.
Yeah,
So-
they're not coming. So wherever they're going, I mean, they don't even have. I mean, Sentry. Well, I think you use
No
Sentry.
way.
I mean, what's going to happen? I don't know. All I know is we're going to get some great new Hot Toys figures.
You know, let's take a moment here. Let's just read to give you a sense of the kind of feeling that is out there. Let's just take a moment and read through some of the reviews that we've had come in. United Press wrote, Mackie carries his first movie as the headlining hero effectively. Even up against screen legends like Ford, it's certainly Captain America's movie. There we go. Newsday liked it, saying, compared to some of the studio's recent misfires, this new entry is at least passable.
Oh,
There you go.
And that seems to be the general consensus.
yeah,
It's
that's what
passable.
we want to hear.
Cinemania wrote, Captain America Brave New World is a compendium of action, nostalgia, and gamma radiation that doesn't rank among Marvel's best movies, but it's not among its worst either. All right, take that. Culturist writes, great actors like Nielsen and Lumbly can only add so much to a production that never quite works as either an over-the-top comic book movie or a movie intimate meditation on masculine vulnerability. Again, didn't like it, but didn't hate it.
Of course.
Masculine vulnerability is exactly what I got from the trailer.
Question real quick. Did anyone say if there was a post-credit scene? Have we
Yes,
heard
there
it?
is.
One.
Okay.
I actually, unfortunately, last week, I got told what the post-credit
Okay,
scene
don't
was
worry.
last
Okay.
week. Look, I'm not going to give away what the post-credit scene is,
But here it is.
but I'm going to tell you. Because often people ask me the question, do I need to stick around for the post-credit scene? The answer is no. You don't.
Okay.
Because it's not a post-credit scene that sets anything up. All it is a reference that is totally unnecessary. I said this last night. I said on the show, a scene that is a setup means in order for you to have this, you need this scene to set it up. The post-credit scene of Captain America 4 is completely unneeded. I would say it is not something you need to stick around for.
Plus, douchey douches have already put it on Twitter.
Have they? Is it already out there? Well, I'm not surprised about that. That always kind of happens. So, look, I'm going to say this. My enthusiasm level for Captain America 4 has not changed. I'm seeing it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to watching it. And as long as I can just walk out and go pretty good. Rob, has any of the reactions, the reviews thing, has your level changed at all? Or is it pretty much where it was?
No, I mean, and I look at movies at scale. Everyone's looking at Endgame or Infinity War and comparing them to that. I compare action films to things like Brian Bosworth and Stone Cold. If I get something that's at least, it is the greatest movie ever. And one of Lance Henriksen's finest performances, Craig Baxley killed it.
Best.
But when you're looking at these movies, I try and judge a movie for what it sets out to do, what it accomplishes, and how much I enjoyed when I was watching it. And I do that with every movie, whether it's $1 million low budget horror film or it's a big budget science fiction epic. Did it succeed doing what it wanted to do? And if this gives me, if they succeed in that, I will be happy. And you know what? I love watching Anthony Mackie anyway. I just like him.
He's great.
Yeah, he's so charismatic.
I've always loved him in the role. And, I want to see him. Like, I love the interplay we've seen with him and Harrison Ford. I've loved the brief conversations.
The behind the scenes stuff or the actual
the
scenes.
clips.
Yeah,
the clips between the two of them. There's real chemistry there. There's real great back and forth. I mean, hell, I'd love to see, Captain America and the President, a Lethal Weapon kind of movie where maybe make a team up with Thunderbolt Ross and Captain America, solve the world's problems. I don't know.
Chris, has your needle moved at all with the reaction? Has it gone down? Has it gone up? Still same place?
Steady as she goes.
Right there in there. What about you, Ray? You're still excited about tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been excited just to see Harrison Ford. And it still remains the same that I want to see what this Red Hulk is about. I'm not too familiar with the character, so I do want to see Harrison Ford and Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Question is for you. As of right now, the critic rating on Captain America 4 is right around where we thought it'd be. Little more than half the critics like it. Right about half of the critics don't really like it. Not many people seem to really love it or hate it. So is that where you expected it to be? I'm still looking forward to seeing it. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.